Hey everybody, it's Debbie here. So in this quick little training video, I want to show you how you can create an editable PDF. So there's a free tool or online service called PDF Escape. So it's free. And what you do is you upload your PDF, and then from there you can fill out, or you can have little check boxes or spaces to fill out anything you want. So follow along as I do that. So here it's saying we could drop the form here. So I'm just going to click on Choose File. And I am going to, the trick is to figure out where I saved it. So I will find that PDF, and here it is. And so it's uploading it here. Depending on how big it is, takes just a few seconds. And as it says here, PDF Escape is always free. So once it uploads it, then you'll screen here, and it will show you what you've uploaded. I am going to, you can have different views here. So I'm going to click on the 50% view just so you can take a quick look here. So this little checklist that I've created, I have a cover page, then page 2, page 3, and then it's still loading here, page 4, and then page 5. So I am going to create some little boxes to fill in. So on my page 2 here, notice I've got 3 boxes where you could type basically a paragraph. So over here on the left, there's all kinds of different tools here. And what we want is the form field. So when you click on form field, you have some options. You can just have regular text. But what I want, I'm going to click the drop down arrow. I really want a text paragraph. So I'm going to click on that. And then you can just say select. And then it's telling us just click and drag to be able to create that. So I'm just going to come over here, and you just kind of eyeball it and get it as close as you want. And then it turns it green. And then if you needed to resize it, if you needed to make it a little bigger, a little smaller, you could resize it. And it's that easy. Now, what I love to do, though, is when I'm using a form, I try to have consistent size boxes, and then you can just duplicate. So with this still active, notice it's got those little handles. If I right mouse click, there's an option to duplicate. So I'm just going to say duplicate. And so now it's one stacked on the other. So now I'm just going to drag this guy down here. It's the same size, so it should fit perfectly. I'm going to right click again and say duplicate. And then I'm going to click and drag down here. And I'm good to go. Now on the next page, I've got little smaller boxes. It's still going to be like a paragraph in size. So I always like to just make sure that I have my right tool selected. So I go back to my form field. And again, I could just have one line of text if I wanted. I'm just going to say text paragraph, select. And again, I'm going to draw whatever size I want. And again, if you need to make it just a little bigger, a little smaller, you can do that. Once you're good to go with it, you can right mouse click, duplicate, and just dragging this down, I'll duplicate it again. Now I wish there was a way that you could, like duplicate 4 times at once. I have not found that workaround. I don't think it exists. Maybe, I don't know if this one has a paid version, but there might be tools out there that can do it. But this one, you just have to manually do it. But you'll notice it was very quick. Now on the next page here, I have real small little boxes, and I want those to be a little checkbox where I can just click it and a little check mark will appear. So again, I can come here to my form field button over on the left, and instead of text, this time you can have a checkbox, you could have a radio that's a little round circle, all kinds of things. You can just play around with it. But for today's training, I'm just going to say checkbox and then say select. And another tip, if you make the screen bigger, so when I'm working with really small things, sometimes it's nice to really zoom in. And again, I can just draw this to whatever size I need. The default is it will automatically put that check mark there. I'm going to just click it to turn it off. And now that I have the right size, I can actually zoom out again so that I can see everything. And I'm going to right mouse click and just duplicate it. And so now I can just line that up. I can duplicate it again. And I'm just going to keep doing it till I have all my little boxes. And again, you'll notice that it really does not take long at all to create these. Another little tip, sometimes depending on your keyboard, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm moving this just ever so slightly. Once you have it selected, you could just click on your little up-down arrow keys on your keyboard, and if it's not exactly placed where you want it, that will move it just incrementally, little tiny steps. So sometimes if it's not exactly how you want it, you can do that. Okay, so there it is. So look how fast, quick and easy that was to make this an editable PDF. Now, one other thing I was going to show you is with this page here, job duty, and then I have a little line there, we could actually just put one line here. So before we were doing the text paragraph, I'm just going to do a text and say select. It's going to draw a little line here. Make it a little bigger, I guess, depending on the size of your font. You do want to think about that. And again, it'll just give me a place to just type in one line. One other quick little tip, I guess, that I want to show you is you can also build in links. So I'm going to make this bigger so that we can see it. And you'll notice on the bottom of each page here, I have my website, starconsulting.net. So if I come over here and click on link, then I can just draw basically a little box, and as soon as my arrow or my mouse hits that, then I could link it to a page or a URL. Now my website is actually https:// and then I can just type in that link. If you had like a bit link or a short link, you could put that in, and I'm going to say OK. And now once this PDF is published, if somebody wants to click on that link, they can. Now I'm not going to do it today, but normally what I would do, any place I make reference to my website, I would make that a clickable link. So we're almost done. It only took us a few minutes to make this a downloadable, fillable PDF. So now all you need to do, over here to the far left here, you can always save. I do recommend that you save a lot. Save early, save often is my motto in life. But I'm all done with it, so I'm just going to click this button, Save and Download. So it says be patient, and then it'll ask me where do I want to save it. Another little tip that I like to do is I save my PDF with the same name, but at the very end I type the word fillable. so that I can keep it straight which one people can use to fill in and which one is the regular. When you start creating a lot of PDFs, it's just going to save you a lot of time if you put that little reminder there. So now let me grab my document that we just created. So I will get into, if I can find it here. And the key is to always remember where you're keeping things. And I think it's right here. And notice fillable, sample training checklist fillable. Then I know right away where it's at. So go ahead and open that up. And I'm going to shrink this down just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. And depending on how large the file is, it might take it a couple minutes just as it's processing it. So we're almost done here. And then as I'm scrolling through here, now you'll notice this first page, or second page actually, this is where I type, and I can just continue to type. This is where I had my little line where I could type in my job heading, more text, so you could just continue to type all of that. And then remember those little check boxes. So as you're doing the training, you can just check them, turn them on and off. And then also, let's see, was it on the first page? I can't remember where I saved one of those. So here on page 2, notice as I hover over, that turns into a hyperlink. I can click on that, and that will take me to my website. So hopefully that helped you. You're free to download this. I did put a little note here. Sometimes people want to actually purchase so that they can, modify the text, because here you'd want to modify all of that. If you're interested, I can leave a link, and I'll see you in the next training video. Have a great day.